Hi listeners, welcome to my channel. 11th May, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we would observe the Sun and Moon coming together at 21 degree of Taurus to plant a new seed. When Sun and Moon come together, we initiate a new process, a new seed is planted. And in Taurus, that seed is planted coming from a place of wanting peace, wanting beauty, wanting security, and wanting abundance. Today's new moon, in its sign of strength, offers all of us that opportunity over the course of next 2 weeks. There is an urge to plant the seeds of abundance, wanting to build, invest in something of substantial and long-term value. And we will see that play out over the course of next 2 weeks. I spoke of this new moon by sign in your May 2021 videos, for which I will leave the link in the description as we dig deeper together into what new beginning this new moon can bring for all of us today. My name is Charu and I am your host on this journey. So let's dig in. With tonight's Taurus new moon, we are moving to the other end of the spectrum, away from the intense emotions, even chaos to some extent. We create a corner of comfort, stillness, and calm. When everything is changing around us and everything is so uncertain, peace and comfort comes from even a small piece of normality, which shows that universal laws continue to prevail. And if we want, we can create our own grounding, even in these uncertain times. We cannot impose our will on life or on others, as much as the temptation to take control has been pretty high. But we cannot control everything. What we can do is create our own little island, which is what we try to do over the course of next 2 weeks. For some, that little piece of calmness and peace is in arts. For some, it is in beauty and luxury. For some, it is in gardening, singing, and for some, it's in creating solid treasures which are valuable in nature. We all base our stability, our calm, and our self-esteem in different things and people. Assets, possessions, desire, wealth means very different things to different people. But one thing that is common is that they give us all a sense of belonging. It belongs to our heart chakra, a sense of comfort. It's time to plant the seeds of whatever brings that sense of calm, comfort, resources, that sense of value to us in our own unique way. It's our moment of connection with our own 5 senses, a little celebration of life that exists in its abundance, flowing through all of us and working consistently to nourish us, to provide us what we need, bringing us closer each day, each step to it. Many of us follow religious or cultural traditions for the sense of feeling that all is well and stable in the ever-shifting world. Some of us read the sacred books of our religion or sacred books of others who have walked our path in the past, because sometimes tradition or traditional practice can actually provide us guidance in these turbulent times. Its comfort and ease puts us in the mode where we are more likely to receive guidance. We are being urged to bring ourselves into that mode so we can receive guidance. Not everything in our culture and religion might be who we are or relate to, but sometimes they are components of our traditional life which can be full of guidance for us. Rudyard interpreted the Sambhian symbol of the degree of this new moon as a finger pointing to a line in open book. A finger pointing to a line in open book. Sometimes it's so literal. You are reading a book, possibly a sacred book of your religion, or a sacred book of the people who have walked the path that you're trying to walk. And you have seen it 1,000 times. But now somehow it shows you a different perspective. You don't have to belong to the collective values of that religion or that culture to benefit from it. Sometimes the cultural guidance actually helps a person identify his own differentiated response to an environment. This is where we find a big shift through some simple practice. And I spoke of it yesterday as well when we talked of Mercury and North Node conjunction, which is also happening right now. In 2022 and 2023, we will have North Node move into the zodiac sign of Taurus. A big shift in our assets, our physical assets, possessions, desires, values, and financial stability is coming. This is once in 19-year shift in economic sphere and of our individual talents and assets. And that will happen through a series of eclipses which will happen in Taurus and Scorpio initiating from November of this year. What is different in 2022 and 2023 is that Uranus is also in Taurus. And it will actually meet North Node in Taurus towards August of 2022. This will be unexpected events which will come, which will change the nature of our resources, our assets. Long-standing standards of resources and assets will shift when this happens. We will break new grounds. Last time when North Node and Uranus and Taurus came together was in 1885. We had kerosene patented. Steel making process was patented. Sewing machine was patented. All the new assets which were groundbreaking for that time, which provided value for a very long time, which created wealth for many people for a very long time, were created during that time. So it will be the time to break new grounds. There will be big environmental changes as well, which will come. We'll talk about that separately. But looking at focusing over the next 2 weeks, because we are taking life bite-sized right now. As I mentioned yesterday, that's the road to success right now. Take life bite-sized. With the next 2 weeks, with this new moon, what could be that groundbreaking invention for you which can create resources, assets for a long time? What can we initiate? It has to be something simple, useful, valuable, long-lasting. We individually look at what is our contribution to assets and resources of the world. our work would be to produce something which is valued beyond us. And we would have opportunity to accelerate its growth over 2022 and 2023. And our path will not be influenced by anyone. There are no strings, no manipulation of give and take on this. In fact, we need to release the manipulation of give and take on this. This is not influenced by somebody else. This is you standing on your own 2 feet and doing it because you kind of have the birthright to. You were born to produce something, and that's why you do it. Not because of confirmation, not because of acceptance, not because of a manipulation of give and take from somebody else. And Neptune supports this flight of imagination during this new moon, and North Node right now is very actively providing us clues and epiphanies around it, as we spoke yesterday. I will go into the quality of this new start. Few things to keep in mind as we see this new start in artistic capabilities, in finances, in resourcefulness, in self-worth, in investments over the course of next 2 weeks. To start with, give substance to your thoughts and value your imagination. If there's a dream, there's an imagination, there is a thought given to you. It was given for a unique purpose. Our desires are what gives our life meaning. Because driven by those desires, we move to the next level of growth. And this new moon is about moving to the next level of growth. Value your desires. Give yourself time and space to cultivate those desires. Every thought, every emotion of ours, it carries tangible energy. Tangible energy that creates our next day and the next. Everything around us, every tangible thing around us was somebody's thought, somebody's imagination. And because they valued their imagination, because they valued their desire, because they valued their thought, that's how those useful, tangible assets were created. Our thoughts, our desires, our emotions, they are our biggest asset. They move us to the next level of growth. Our job over the course of next 2 weeks is to give substance to those thoughts, give value to our imagination. The second thing is accumulation of things, even old thoughts. They block us. Sometimes we need to disperse, get rid of old things, old thoughts to create a churn in life, and it could mean that we need to change the things around us. Everything around us exudes certain amount of energy and can block us. We need to unplug some of the blockages. Accumulation blocks our free thought process and imagination. We are sensuous beings. We respond to 5 senses. Our thought process responds to 5 senses. So the things in our surroundings, if they're not beautiful, they don't appeal to us, or they don't cultivate this imagination further, we can have a stale thought process because of that. We are sensuous beings with key responsibility to our own self to feed our senses in all ways. To eat, consume things that are good for us, that feel good to us. To wear the clothes that appeal to us. To have beautiful things in front of us that appeal to our eyes. to smell things that appeal to us in the right way. Have all of your senses well fed. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Feel the scent of the flowers. Feel the warmth of food and the cool of water. All is well. All is within. We are fully alive. Nothing can block us from feeding our senses. Calm your heart and then bring all the energy that has been dispersed outside, that is being wasted outside, bring that energy, that resource back to your own center. Focus it. Create a focal point of your energy. Before directing all of them to what you think brings value to you, create a focal point of your energy. From the place of power, where there is no noise, there is no argument, there is nothing to prove, direct that energy, that resource, to where you think you can create value. Appreciate your ability to create beauty and value in life. Know that you can. You were born to create something substantial and tangible of value. From that place of power, calm, and ease, express your talents. No one ever wished on their deathbed that they had expressed less of themselves. The regret of not doing is far, far heavier than any kind of embarrassment of failing, whatever that is, in eyes of others. Healthy ego is not a luxury. It's a necessity for us to exist. It's you honoring you. Having that ego is a must right now. Your body and its well-being is one of your biggest assets. Show your allegiance to yourself, to your body. It's a mark of self-love. It's a mark of self-nurture. It's a mark of honoring your life. It's a mark of honoring that you were gifted to have a life. We all were gifted to have a life. Gracefully bow out of dealings that don't meet your standards. The financial bindings that compromise your values, gracefully bow out of them. Our financial dealings do not define our values. We do. There are a lot of rewards on the way to the end goal. When we have Taurus new moon, we are guided to celebrate the milestones on the way to the end goal. No matter how small it feels, when you were not there, it did not feel small. So celebrate the milestone on the way to the end goal. The dark night of the soul that Scorpio full moon brought towards end of April, it has connected us to everything that's sacred about our soul. Even if it came through pain of the past, pain of ancestral karma, we release the manipulation, the conditional give and take of life. We release the control that comes from that give and take, whether it is financial or it is emotional. No one else can make these tangible choices of your life for you except yourself. We are not part of somebody else's reality. We are creating our own reality. no strings attached, on our own values, on our own terms here. We are choosing to honor and recognize our own talents. We are making that choice without waiting for someone to invent the scale, to measure us correctly on our own talents, which they have no measure of. They have no idea how to measure us. We are choosing to honor and accept an artist's path. And we have to accept that sometimes the path of an artist, the path of a creative, the path of a person who chooses to live on their own values is sometimes long and lonely. Want what you want from your life because you want it, not because others expect it out of you. Taurus new moon is not about anybody else. It's about you valuing you and your life. Do it because of your own pride and your own desire. Taurus is a simple sign. It says, I have. It wants us to create something of value because it exists, because it was born, because it owes it to the earth it survives on and the nature that nurtures him. He creates because of purely existing. It doesn't wait to be discovered. It doesn't wait for external acknowledgement. Its birth was its discovery. Its birth was life acknowledging it. It creates because that is why it was born. That is why it had the privilege to be born. And that's what we do over the course of next 2 weeks. That's what I have for you. Have a great new moon and a great new start. Thank you.